Imagine buying real estate only to discover someone else can legally use your property without your permission. Easements are a powerful force that reshape your property rights and redefine what you can and cannot do with your own land. In this video, I'm going to dive deep into the world of easements. You'll learn what they are, why they're critical, and how to review them before they turn your property into a costly nightmare. My name is Bashoy Habib, and I'm the realest real estate attorney you know. Over the past 12 years, I've closed over 1,000 transactions totaling $12 billion. I've seen countless situations where buyers failed to research or understand easements. In some cases, those buyers cannot use the property as they intended when they bought it. Let me help you avoid some of those same mistakes. What are easements? Let's keep this simple. An easement is a legal right that lets someone else use your property or part of your property for a specific purpose. The important thing to remember is that they get to use your land, but they don't own it. Here's an example. A utility company might have an easement to install or maintain power lines on your property. That means they have the right to access your land whenever they need to, even if it's inconvenient for you. Or maybe your neighbor's driveway crosses a portion of your property. That's another kind of easement, one that gives them legal access to cut across your property. So why does this matter? It matters because easements can limit how you use your property. If there's an easement running through your backyard, it might mean you can't have a pool, you can't have a fence, and you can't have a structure in that area. Understanding these restrictions up front is key to avoiding nasty surprises later. So let's talk about the types of easements. You should know about the most common types of easement. The most common one that you'll probably run into is a utility easement. So these allow companies to access parts of your property to install or maintain things like power lines, water pipes, or even internet cables. These are usually found along the edges of your lot, at the front, side, or back. They're generally not a big issue. However, you need to make sure that there are no structures on these utilities. Otherwise, the owner of the easement can tear them down to access their easement. Typically, when they put these on, it's not in the middle of your property, it's around your property for this reason. And most properties have these easements. It's very standard. So you just have to make sure that your building is not on top of them or you don't have a structure on there. Next up is the right-of-way easements. These are easements that allow someone to cross your property, usually for roads, driveways, or footpaths. For example, let's say you own a lakefront property in a neighborhood with shared access to the water. There might be an easement that allows other residents to cross part of your land to get to the lake. Then there are drainage easements, which are used to manage stormwater runoff. These are especially common near slopes or water features and often come with restrictions on building or landscaping in those areas. If you're planning to build something like a shed or a patio, these easements are critical to know about. Conservation easements are less common but still important. They're designed to protect natural resources like forests and wetlands by restricting certain activities. You might not be able to cut down trees, develop the land, or make other changes in a conservation easement. And then there's septic easements, which, if you have a septic tank located on your neighbor's property or vice versa, they clearly define legal rights and responsibilities for maintaining the system. However, not all easements are listed on a survey or property map. So two key examples are easements by necessity and prescriptive easements. Easements by necessity happen when a property lacks something essential, like access to a road or utilities. A court might create an easement to fix the problem. For example, I worked on a project where a developer split a property but didn't leave enough road access for one of the lots. A court stepped in and established an easement through a neighboring lot to provide access. Landlocked properties often qualify for an easement by necessity because they have no other legal access to public roads, making such an easement essential for basic use and access. Prescriptive easements, on the other hand, are earned over time. If someone openly and consistently uses part of your property for years without objection, they may gain legal right to keep using it. A basic example of this is when someone uses a shortcut through your yard to reach the street behind your property, and you've never stopped them. Over time, this repeated use can legally become a prescriptive easement. A famous example of this is billionaire Vinod Khosla. He bought a beachfront property in California that included a popular path to the beach used by the public for decades, and that's the key. Despite his efforts to restrict access, the courts ruled that a prescriptive easement existed, allowing the public access to continue. He probably spent tens of millions of dollars on that property, and now he can't even stop people from walking on it. It's a shame, but that's how these things work. Now, how easements can affect you. Easements directly impact how you can use your property. They might limit where you can build something, where you can plant something, or even where you can park your car. Not knowing about these easements can lead to a big legal headache and can mess up your plans. I had a friend spend over $1 million cash buying an office building for his growing business because he needed more parking. Come to find out after closing that the neighboring property had an easement to use most of the parking spots on his property. So basically, he bought the building for no reason whatsoever. Here's the good news. All of this is avoidable. Before you buy, review the survey, property plat, and title commitment to see if there are any easements recorded. If you're unsure about what you're seeing, consult with a real estate attorney. It's a small investment that can save you lots of money and stress down the road. Easements are a normal part of property ownership, but they're often misunderstood or ignored. Having an easement on your property doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing because a lot of properties, most properties have easements, but taking the time to understand them before you buy can save you from costly surprises and give you peace of mind about your investment, especially on commercial real estate where the easements really can be anywhere, anyhow. There's a lot less rules and a lot less certainty around them. Whether it's a utility easement, a right-of-way, or something more unusual like a prescriptive easement, knowing what you're dealing with is crucial, so don't skip this step. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss more practical real estate advice. If you have any questions about easements or property ownership, leave a comment. I'm happy to help. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.